Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So today we're going to be talking about, actually no, I hope you're having a good day.
Hopefully your day's been good.
Yeah, so today's topic will be insecurities. So we'll be talking about like what they are, why are they important, and we'll go through the points just like that. So
Yes.
we'll get started.
Annie, what's insecurity?
Insecurity, I feel like it's like insecurity is like thing about you that you might not like and that you're like. So yeah, what about you?
Yeah. I don't know, really the same as you,
Like
honestly.
what do you think when you think of insecurities?
Like insecurities, like not being secure about something, like you're not secure that you love.
Confident.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like not confident in. It doesn't have to be the way you look. It can just be like anything. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, like we'll give examples
Yeah.
as well, but so the actual definition of insecurities is an it's an uncertainty or anxiety about one's self. So something that that you feel really like about in your in yourself.
Another way to define insecurity is it's like one of the enemy's tactics of getting you to doubt God, like kind of without you even knowing it. Cause yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
First of
joker.
all, like he can't make you do anything, but it's one of the ways that when you start doubting yourself, he's gonna start taking advantage of that, and that's when he can like actually you're gonna getting like thoughts of like, ugh, maybe I should wear this instead of this, or maybe I should just cut my hair, or maybe I should shave my eyebrows or something.
Whoa.
So also we can see in the Bible, we can see some insecurities in the Bible, but the first one that we thought was Moses.
Mm-hmm.
We can first see that in Exodus 3 when God's talking to him through a burning bush. Moses God tells Moses to free his people and talk to Pharaoh. But Moses is like, who am I? So like Maria has a verse of Exodus 3:11.
It says this is God talking to Moses. First of all, like imagine God talking to you. Like actually like being there and talking to you like you see
You can
God.
hear oh my.
I would immediately be like, yes sir.
I'd be
like I wouldn't even I'd be like,
bro, that would be so much easier.
oh my gosh. No, but like imagine God talking to you first and you're like, nah. I'm just kidding. You're being like insecure about it and you're being like, well, why are you choosing me? Like it's Exodus chapter 3, verse 11. But Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? He said, but I will be with you, and this shall be the sign for you that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. And it's like we see that Moses, it's like he's doubting God. And like,
By doubting himself, kind of.
yeah.
Like he's telling God like, so imagine like you're like God's talking to you and he's like, Annie or Maria and Annie, you guys have to start a podcast and give out the word through the social. And imagine like we would have said like no, like
A
who are
year ago,
we?
I probably would have said no. I'd be
Like yeah, we'd be like like why us? And
yeah.
that's counts as doubting God. It's like you're doubting God. Moses is doubting God. He's like, why did you choose me? When God literally has a plan for you, and look what you did later on in life. Like you parted the Red Sea. Well, not parted yourself, but you did it, and it's just like we're not gonna go that into depth and into detail about Moses. We should, but for now, it's just talking about how he doubted him, and we also have like how Maria was saying earlier. We don't have just like one type of insecurity, maybe how we look. But also maybe how Moses here was doubting himself because he was like,
Yeah.
"Who am I? I'm just
Hmm.
Moses, I'm nothing."
Like you were saying, like by doubting himself, he's doubting God.
Yeah, and so there's a bunch of insecurities that we can start listing, but there's just a lot, and you might even think that they're not even real. But so there's like insecurity about maybe how your body looks, maybe insecurity about your faith. When you go to church, you may be like, I know when I went to church, when I started going to church, one of the reasons I didn't want to go was because I didn't know that much about the Bible, and I was just like insecure of maybe how they would think of me, like the leaders or maybe even people that I met. A little bit of what insecurities are for or are. So like why insecurities so important? Like why are we even making an episode about it?
Okay, so I think like it's so important to talk about this because like I don't know how to word this, but it's like I think it's so important because like insecurities have become so normalized. I think, and like on every social media platform you go on, you can find like somebody like making video. I don't even know like an example, but like
Mm-hmm.
about their insecurities and like
They find it so normal, like they could be talking about like
yeah,
I hate my eyes or the way they look like this, or like put something down in the comments if you can, like something to change because you don't like the way you look. And we can find
yeah,
like how Maria was saying, you can find this everywhere, honestly. Like I can see it in movies, the way like there's a popular,
music even.
yeah, in music, like they're talking about something that maybe their bodily image doesn't
I can never think
appeal
of like
themselves.
examples.
I know. But like where we're going is just like how now it's becoming so normal. Like we have in movies, we can see it all the time. That there's like a popular category and then there's like the unpopular category that no one sits at school or something,
Mhm.
and maybe those kids want to be like the popular kids, and that's like because they have the insecurities of they wanting to be famous and they don't like how they look like, and maybe the popular people are just popular because they look cute and they're rich or something. So it's really popular right now in the world, like, and it's normalized when it's not good.
Yeah, and I think it's important that they have it in movies, not in that way, but as in like there's kids that are by themselves, but people go sit with them. Like if imagine if they were setting
It brings like
that example, like if
mhm,
there was kids sitting in themselves by themselves during lunch, and then like the main character goes to sit with them and becomes friends with them,
mhm,
like instead of the popular kids just picking on them.
exactly. Yeah, it can bring like awareness
Mm.
when you watch those movies. But what I'm trying to say is just like it's so normalized. We can see
Yeah,
it everywhere. And I feel like that's because the world always wants something negative out of you. They're doing worship.
I don't understand it, but
Right. And so since the world always wants something like negative out of you, that comes from Satan. So like that's like him, doing his work or something.
from that, like if the enemy can disturb your interpretation of yourself, he can also disturb your interpretation of who God is
Mm.
and like how God made you. Like he can make you believe that God isn't a perfect God who made you in his image and who made you and like who says you're fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah, so we start doubting God,
Yeah.
is what you're saying? Okay. When we get those thoughts of maybe like looking in the mirror and saying like just like why do I look like this? Just those thoughts hurt God. Like you're telling him that you hate the way you were made by him
Mm-hmm.
because he made you. He's your creator. And so something when we get mad at him, we can just be like, I wish I had this or something. But that's jealousy. That goes into the category of jealousy. And actually, we'll be talking about jealousy versus insecurity. And basically, what jealousy is just wanting something that you don't have. So, wanting, maybe I really want Maria's pants so bad. And
Maybe.
I really want them so bad because I don't have them, and I feel like they look so cool on me. And that's jealousy. That's what's another word for jealousy? It's just like a want. Just I'm jealous, right?
Yeah.
And
Insecurity is like a hate for what you have. Is
okay,
like maybe, well, not necessarily like a hate, but like a disliking of like, oh, I don't like my nose, or I don't like my hair, I don't like my face or my body. That hate for what you have leads to doubting again, because like that's, you don't like what you have, but God gave that to you and it's specifically tailored for you, and there's literally nobody else in the world like you. Not even if you have a twin. Like, your fingerprints are different. Like, every single person has a different
that's so
fingerprint.
true. It's like if there's a copy of Annie
God's
out
too
there,
smart.
there's a coffee.
Coffee.
If there's a copy of Annie out there, I bet you don't have hamburgers.
Yo, actually, story time. I volunteered at our church, and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Do you do dance?" I was like, "No." They're like, "I saw somebody exactly like you at my dance place." I was like, so
pull out the.
like, if there's somebody who looks exactly like me out there, like, message us because I want to meet up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
The next point we'll be talking about why we shouldn't doubt God. Why those thoughts aren't good. I am who you say I am. I am who you say I am. I am who.
Hey guys, so fun fact: in the next room over, they're doing like a.
It's like a so. Actually, my mom's in that class. It's like a Bible study class, but it's their last class of the semester, and they're having like a party. But they're worshiping right now, and they're singing the song in Spanish actually. But it's I am who you say I am. Yes, I am. And so I was like, wait a minute. I am who you say I
You don't need to
am. Insane.
That's crazy.
So, again, if you doubt God, He's literally saying, you are who you are. He has a whole plan for you guys. Okay, so we are who God says we are. He literally has a plan for us, and when it clicks, like it just did,
Clicked hard for you. She really felt it.
it's because it's so beautiful. It's just like, you know how what He thinks of you, and I feel like that's what insecurity is too. When you want to think, you're thinking of how other people think about you. It goes into that same insecurity of like, maybe my hair doesn't look good and maybe I won't get the job. That's an insecurity. And we have to put every time we think those insecurities, just think of how God thinks of you. Like, back to something that we shouldn't doubt. So yeah, we're gonna go to Genesis 1:27. And this verse it's basically describing how God created us.
127, it says, "So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God he created him, male and female he created them."
Wow.
So like, we were created in God's image, so it's like, it says it in the Bible. In the Bible, it literally says, it says, "The word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the division of the soul and spirit, of joints and marrow, and discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart." Hebrews 4:12.
Yeah, that verse where Jesus is the Word, the truth, and the life.
But if you're doubting that you weren't made in His image, then
You're like,
you're calling him a liar.
mm-hmm. We don't want to feel. We don't want to make you feel like that. We just want to like bring awareness of just think of that for a minute. Just like go ahead and pause the video right now and just think of like, why are you doubting yourself when God literally loves you so much and He worked so hard on creating you? Yeah. You, an individual person, like He didn't make a copy of you. You're the.
It's not like He copied and pasted. Like, there's literally nobody like you in this world at all.
And if you think of that, that's like, right?
It's like God looked at the world and said it needed one of you.
Yeah. Literally, there is no one like Maria. I'm not saying this just like there's no one like you, because there isn't.
So one thing, like, if I'm struggling with insecurity, then somewhere I like to go is Psalms 139. And if you don't know what that is, I'll read it. It's, O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down. You are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in, behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit, or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the utmost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as day, for darkness is as light with you. For you have formed my inward parts, and you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance, in your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God! How vast is the sum of them! If I wouldn't count them, they are more than the sand. I awake and I am still with you.
That was a lot, first of all.
Yeah. It's just the whole chapter.
Yeah. It's beautiful. David uses very descriptive words. David actually, if you don't know, is he we can see actually he's a good example of how it is to live with God for God without having insecurities.
Okay.
David was actually, if you've heard of the story of David and Goliath, that's the same David. I didn't know that was the same David when I was younger.
Actually?
Yeah, I thought it was just like a different David.
Oh.
And so when I started realizing that David was the one who wrote like most of the Psalms. So
I don't know.
So just in case you didn't know who David was, God actually, there's a whole bunch of story again, but God told him to go and slay the giant of Goliath mid-war. And David did it. He was just a shepherd boy. He could have said, like Moses, he'd been like, who am I? But he didn't doubt anything. He didn't doubt God. So he's like a pretty good example of what it is to like live without any doubts, without any insecurities for God. He's in this chapter, he's just showing us and telling us and explaining us how he's our God and how beautiful he is and how beautiful we are because we come from him.
And like how much God knows us.
Exactly. How God knows us is it's so beautiful.
It
It's
even
like
says he's talking about God's thoughts for us. If I would count them, they are more than the sand. Little
grains.
tiny grains of sand.
So that was like the wrap of why we shouldn't doubt God because he created us. This is our second last point. But how when we plan these episodes, we first write our own verse of the episode version, and then we get together. When we get together, record. We plan it together, and when we had a bunch of verses, they were beautiful. They were beautiful. We decided to name the segment, the point, love.
Mm-hmm.
Love from God and why we should love ourselves. First verse is going to be Jeremiah 1:5. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. So, I chose this verse. I wrote it down just because he plans our life. Like, basically what we can take off from here, although we're not anointed as prophets, we can just know that we can just look how he gave a plan to Jeremiah. He told him, he was like, you are a prophet. And he's telling us, you are a teen with faith. And then he's our creator, so we have to see, and he loves us so much, right? So like that's why the segment is called love. So maybe sometimes we have to put ourselves, when we're like doubting our insecurities, maybe when we're looking in the mirror and we're like, I hate the way this looks. You should stop your tongue before you even speak, and then you should just think about take a moment to like reflect on how God thinks about you, how God sees you in his eyes. Next verse would be 1 Corinthians 16.
If you didn't hear her, it's 1 Corinthians 3:16-17. It's, do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him. For God's temple is holy, and you are that temple. It's like we are God's temple, and His Spirit is in us. Like God created us, so like if we're destroying our temple, like if we're destroying our body is our temple. Like say you're self-harming or something because you don't like yourself, then like that's destroying your temple, and like God's Spirit is in you, and like so that hurts Him too. And it says that God's temple is holy, and you are that temple.
And for the final point, and this is the end of our episode, what we have to say.
Yes.
So, like, through all of this, what we have to say to you guys, about insecurities. So it's for me, my advice to you guys is, I'm not saying don't hang. Okay, so I'm gonna say, don't hang out or don't have that community like that group of people who you know that you shouldn't really be hanging around with, but you still do just because maybe they bring you popularity. And I know you might hear this all the time because I used to hear it all the time when I used to hang out with those people. But those people bring you down when you're climbing up the mountain to go meet God. Like, they're bringing you down as wanting making maybe you're seeking approval of them, and you're doing stuff that isn't good in God's eyes, but you're doing that because you want to get their attention, you want to get their approval, and you want to still be in their group. And at the same time, they when they're not good people, when they're not good friends, you know it because maybe they say something like, maybe you're like worrying too much about your hair, how it looks at school, and maybe for this is a girl's example, like maybe your hair looks really bad, or maybe it doesn't, and you think it does, but you want to look good for school, and you ask your friend, she's like, yeah, it looks really bad. She's being honest, right?
Yeah.
And she doesn't help you with it. That's not really a good friend. A good friend would be
Wiping your wet hands on your hair to bring your clothes back.
helping you, right? And not only bringing you down with, yeah, it looks horrible, or maybe you're not really insecure about your body image, but maybe you're insecure about the way you about like school, and maybe that person or that group of people are not letting you study when you're supposed to. And yeah, so have a community that uplifts you and that brings you closer to God together. And also, don't be that person.
Yeah.
Like, don't be the person bringing the people down.
Yeah.
It's just not. It doesn't glorify God. It doesn't, like. And if
It's
you're
also like, what good does it do you to bring somebody else down?
exactly, yeah, that's all I have to say to you guys.
Okay, now what I have to say. My allergies are acting up right now, so if I look like this, then it's because of my allergies. Like what I have to say is just like you're so beautiful the way you're created, and like even if you don't see it, like so many other people see it, like, and the most important one is God. God sees it. God sees that you're so beautiful and like you're creating His image, and like He made you because He wanted you to be here. And it's like you wouldn't be here if God didn't want you to be here. Like you have a purpose, and like there's a reason that you're supposed to be here. And I also just like don't let your insecurities become your master, because the only master you should have is God. You should only be serving God,
yeah.
and not trying to like change your outward appearance because of your insecurities. And I think it's important, like if you know what a playbook is. If you don't know what a playbook is, it's like a book of plays, I guess, like
Like in a
for
sport.
sports, like say like if they make this play, we're gonna make this play. It's like a plan of attack. And so like the Bible's our playbook. Whenever the devil says something that's a lie, like you're ugly, then you just go to the Bible and you look at Genesis 1:27. You're created in God's image. Or Psalms.
Boom!
Sorry. Or like if you're thinking like, well, God made me wrong, then God made me the wrong gender. It's you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are created, and again you are created in His image.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I want to go back to what you said of don't let insecurities be like your master.
Mhm.
What are you referring? Like, what do you mean by insecurities as a master? Like, I didn't get that.
I mean, as in like don't let insecurities like run your life.
Okay.
As in like don't let insecurities stop you from doing God's will.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like if like God calls you to preach a sermon or something, or even start a podcast, and you're like, well, I'm ugly, people won't like me. I'm like, or you're like, they won't like what I have to say. It's like, don't let your insecurities run your life and
Like destroy you.
yeah, and like live for
God.
Yeah, live for what God says about you.
Also, yeah. Also, what you're saying, back to like, don't seek approval. Like, don't let it get into your mind. Guys and guisettes, God only looks at your heart. Like, your heart is the only thing that matters to Him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing that might be so beautiful in something that you might think that it's not really pretty.
Yeah.
Or handsome. But God only looks at your heart. He doesn't look at what you've accomplished. He only looks at what you've accomplished for Him and in your heart, in your intention. And so with this, we're going to wrap it up. And the challenge of the week is
to compliment 3 people. 3 random people.
out loud.
Out loud. Like, go up to them and be like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes.
Yeah, and maybe get to know
Or like
them.
if you didn't, yeah. If you see them doing something kind, or just be like, oh my gosh, I love the way that you
picked up the piece of trash.
Yeah, I love that you picked up that piece of trash for that woman. Or
save the turtles. I'm sorry.
Or picked up that girl's groceries whenever it fell. Just like compliment 3 people.
You got it, guys. We believe in you. Goodbye.
We're praying for y'all.
Yeah, we are praying for you guys. Have a good day. Good night.
Good evening, morning. You never know.
See you later, alligator.